Buckle up, hotties. It's time to talk some hoops. Welcome to Crunch Wears No Pants with Brandon, Nate, and Jordan.
What's poppin', Bandy people? Welcome to Crunch Wears No Pants. We are the bosses of the hoops department at PullTabSports.com. Making your homepage. I am Jordan, Tornado Jolly Alamat. That's Nate. Ooh, I got a brown hat with a smiley face. Look at me. Look at me. I'm a trucker. Allsderv. And over there is Brandon Beck.
You were supposed to be Jordan, the bad take haver, Alamat.
I'm not a bad take haver.
Yeah, well, of course you would say that. Bad taker.
Okay, name 6 bad takes I've had. Six of them.
I gotta pull up the message because we literally did this in the group chat.
There's only 2. And I confessed to some, but they actually changed. Like before I met you guys, way back in middle school, I carried a torch for Kyle Loesch, and he was a great pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. Go on.
The bad take haver thing originated from the fact that you said you don't like the Sacramento Kings.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That is a
That's
a monumental bad take.
I think their fans suck.
Well, there go all our fans.
They're all sassy on Twitter. Nah.
They're not sassy.
They're so sassy
Twitter.
on Twitter.
I don't think any of them are. I think you're reading Bring Me the News comments again. You gotta stop.
You know what it is?
You're mad because they thought that the Sac Jones thing was about them.
No. You know what
It's
I'm
the
mad
beam.
about?
He hates the beam.
I'm fine with the beam. I think the beam is
beam
kind
is
of cool.
cool.
Nah.
It's these.
Go ahead.
They're from California and they're a bunch of woke libs. No,
Okay, ChatGPT.
Yeah. I don't like how they're a young, scrappy team. Kind of like how we were a young, scrappy team last year.
He's jealous.
And everyone is on their knees for the Kings, where it's like, oh, fuck the Timberwolves. I told myself I wasn't going to swear this episode, but that didn't go very well. But last year, like, oh, screw the Timberwolves. We don't care about the Timberwolves. Boo the Timberwolves. It's like, what do we need to do? Like, what's the problem? Just reveal the bias and it makes me mad. And I project that onto the Kings.
I would just like to say,
Yes.
nobody said that about nobody hated the Timberwolves last year.
What?
It's just that they weren't favored in their series. That's because they were the 7 seed and the Kings are the 3 seed.
No,
the Kings are just better than the Timberwolves were last year.
And I'm fine with that. But like the whole like, oh, look at the story of this team working together and look at the vibes. Wow. It's like, I'm not going to say that.
That was exactly what people were talking about with the Timberwolves last year.
Saying. No,
this feels straw man-y.
This is national media bias, and it's been going on for freaking ever.
The Kings are the 3 seed, and the
Kings are better than the
picked
Timberwolves.
against in a series.
Nah, fucking
The
go
Kings
Warriors
are better.
Golden State, that's my squad. Let's see, what else we got to talk about? What else you got to talk about?
You hate sassy Twitter fans, and you love the most entitled fan base outside of the Lakers.
Jolly Spider-Man meme pointing at other accounts. How dare you have polarizing opinion?
2 people I love that I worked with in radio are from the Bay Area, so I just adopt it because they held my career in their hands for a little bit, so I had to like the Warriors.
Just because the Kings don't have any fans because they've been terrible forever.
Nah. First round exit, can't wait. I'm praying for the downfall. We're not talking about the Kings. We're not talking about the Warriors. We are talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves. We took a while to get to that because I'm not sure we want to talk about it, frankly.
It's been so long. The last episode we recorded was before they beat the Kings on the road.
What?
It was right after.
really?
It was right after the Golden State game where Cat hit the 3, and we were like vibes through the roof. And then that night they beat the Kings, and it was like, we're coming for the championship. And so much has happened.
Jake Scraps had that nice beam tweet that they lit it Aurora green in honor of the Wolves.
Yes.
They lost Portland since we last recorded.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that.
I do not even know where to begin. So we'll try and discern the vibes. We'll dissect the vibes, which is a tall task given a team that can either win the championship or be the worst team ever on a given night. We will go over
win the championship is quite a stretch.
No.
On any given night.
Fear's the mind killer, dude. Don't you know? And then we'll also go through the playoff picture. And since there's 3 of us, that's enough to get deciding votes. So we'll be democratic about it, and we will vote on who we think will win each matchup and find a
vote sack. Vote sack. Vote sack.
I feel like I'm gonna be the swing vote on either of these because you guys have opposite polarizing opinions on things. I'm pretty moderate, so we'll see.
Jimmy's Dips, all right? It's slaw season, baby.
Yes.
Durf, you're the slaw king.
I'm the slaw king. I eat all of it. Can't keep my hands off of that slaw.
Okay. That's a weird way to eat it. There's 3 types: original, pineapple, and fat-free. Don't sleep on the slaw. It deserves a place at the table. Little known fact: The Last Supper. You look really closely. Jimmy's Dips coleslaw is right next to Mark.
Oh, that's what that was.
Yeah.
I thought it was James Dips back then.
That's such a good theological joke. That's so good.
They actually
dude.
called James Jimmy back then.
That's right. He's the founder.
They don't know this, but the disciple James, Jesus called him Jimmy.
Yeah, he did.
Because they were close. They were like first name, nickname basis.
Crazy thing. I went to the place where Jesus was baptized on my trip to Jordan.
Yeah.
Right? It's on the Jordan River. And I'm like, what's that smell? This is Jimmy's coleslaw.
Wow. They had a vendor there?
Amazing.
No. The river.
Oh.
The river was coleslaw.
They got that thick water. Okay.
I was like, these paintings aren't accurate at all. Also, Jesus is a white man. What's going on? Okay. Find Jimmy's coleslaw at Cub or Hy-Vee. They got the coleslaw, the salad dressings, and the dips. Don't you be messing with my dressing.
Did you make that
that's
up?
pretty
No,
good.
they gave you that.
No, it's in the talking points, but I really wanted to hit it home.
It's pretty good.
Don't you be messing with my dressing. Let's see. Well, we have to do the show now.
Ugh. Can we
This
just
is the
skip to
most off the rails we've been before the vibes.
Can we just skip to the
ever.
next ad read?
Okay, this show is brought to you by Duke Cannon, baby. Take your hair and hygiene. And I'll do that a
more
little
like
bit. Okay. Since we last recorded, we talked about how we beat the freaking Warriors and the Kings. We lost to the Portland Trailblazers, and then Rudy Gobert punched Kyle Anderson in the middle of the game, and then we came back and won. It punched him to victory. The Wolves lost a heartbreaker to the Lakers.
Jaden McDaniels punched a wall.
And then Jaden McDaniels
Yeah,
punched a
he
concrete
did.
wall. I forgot about that. We lost a heartbreaker to the Lakers due to scoring 0 points in the second half. Couldn't believe it.
Record, yeah.
And then they destroyed the Thunder to secure the 8th seed. And then after playing 3 games in 1 week, they got destroyed by the well-rested Nuggets, who have the back-to-back MVP and who also play in altitude in game 1 of the playoffs. And also Rudy Gobert's back does not work. So
All the
that's-
weed in the air, too.
All the
team's
weed in the air.
High as shit.
So basically, a lot of stuff has happened. My question to you guys is, what do you make of the last 2.5 weeks since we recorded? How are the vibes? Who should start?
Let's go, Brandon. It was
Let's
me
go,
last
Brandon.
time.
Brandon, start us off.
Guys, my vibes personally, I don't know if this is actually the vibe on Twitter. I think people are kind of mad after the last game. My vibes are relieved.
What does that mean?
We'll talk about the Nuggets series later. Spoiler alert, I don't think they're going to win the Nuggets series. I don't think the Nuggets series is going to be particularly close.
Yeah.
I thought that before yesterday's game. I've been saying that for months, that I don't think Denver is a good matchup for them. I'm relieved because they got into the playoffs. The pick they're sending to Utah is not going to be in the lottery. And for this offseason, we can just relax. And this miserable season is going to be over soon.
Yeah. Well said. Brandon.
Real fatalist vibes from Brandon. But I like it. I like it.
I mean, it's just,
I get what you mean.
I think objectively at this point, unless they pull, like, maybe they pull a rabbit out of their hat and they beat the Nuggets, and that would be great and euphoric and all of that stuff. But the season is pretty much a failure, and it's not going to be a failure because they lose a series to the Nuggets. It's a failure because of everything that's happened before this. But by beating the Thunder on Friday, they avoided disaster.
Yeah.
It's just a bad season now. And there's not this doomsday 1% chance that lottery night's going to show up. And the first time the Timberwolves have ever moved up by that much in the lottery, they just get the first overall pick and send Victor Wembanyama to the Jazz. I think it's just now at this point, like, yeah, it's a good pick going to the Jazz, but it's not going to be in the lottery. It's going to be the 16th
Yeah,
pick.
Shabazz Muhammad.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't think they're going to win the Denver series. I think it would be nice if they could put up a fight. But I just don't really know how much more this team has left in the tank.
Especially with no Nas or Jaden. Like, they're just so
Yeah.
much bigger than
We have no
us.
bench.
Yeah. And so we can save that
Yeah,
for
sorry.
more. Like I said, this is just kind of a playing the Nuggets, who I think are the best team in the Western Conference, because for a full season,
I thought you thought the best team was the Kings because you were riding them to climax.
I think the Kings are very good. I don't think they're as good as the Nuggets. That's their penalty for just not taking care of business at the beginning of the season. All the losses to below 500 teams, all the blown 10-point leads, all that stuff adds up, and that just kind of gets us to the point where we are. And like I said, I'm just glad that they didn't lose that game to the Thunder, because then we'd have to deal with the discourse of that pick being in the lottery and like the existential dread of that coming up.
Yeah.
I would like to just like punctuate this with a positive note, though. I would die for Mike Conley.
Mike Conley is my favorite Timberwolf of all time.
Mike Conley. I tweeted this yesterday. If I had a time machine, I would go back in time to 2007, trade up to 4th, draft Mike Conley, and sign him to a 20-year contract. Yes. We had the 7th overall pick that year. Do you know who we drafted?
I would.
Was that
Corey Brewer?
Corey Brewer.
Wow. I just knew he went 7th for some reason. I would, if I had a time machine, I would go into the future to get whatever formula they have to give you eternal life, and then I would come back and I would give that to Mike Conley now, because I want him with his 36-year-old brain.
Yeah, but he kind of had that brain when he was young too. Yeah, I just would like I would like a Mike Conley that can play
40
minutes instead of 32 minutes.
Yeah, but that wasn't Daddy Conley. That was like youth Conley.
He's always had this energy, though.
He was a dad when he was born.
Yes, he was born a daddy.
He just comes out with a full beard.
Some of us are just born daddies.
I can't believe you played with Greg Oden
in college. I know.
He did.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. Greg Oden was the first overall pick.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was looking at that draft. It went Greg Oden, Kevin Durant, someone else good, 3rd overall.
Dario.
Mike Conley, and the 5th overall pick playing against the Timberwolves in this series, Jeff Green.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 18
good
years.
For Jeff.
16.
Every now
That's the same number.
Nope.
So.
It's 2 less.
Okay, this guy knows numbers.
I love every 6 months when Jeff Green puts up an old man just hammer. He just gets up still, and you can tell he's jumping.
He had some bold looks from 3 yesterday.
Yes.
Clanked straight up and hit the rafters.
Durf, how are the vibes? Tell me everything.
I will say adjacent to relieved. I don't know, a synonym to relieved. You pick. I'll let you pick.
Hang on.
Yeah, pull up the Webster's.
Glad, thankful, grateful, pleased, happy, comforted, cheered, reassured, put at one's ease.
Oh, there we go. Put it
easier in one's mind.
The vibes are put at one's ease. Yeah, your points are great. I think that the vibes on Twitter are bad because fans are sad, but also the memes are phenomenal right now. The memes and GIFs are hitting. And if there's one thing I know about Minnesota fan bases, it's that we turn our pain into laughter. And so there's plenty.
That's why we're so funny, because there's
if
so
you're a
much
meme lord,
pain.
Yeah, if you are a meme lord account, that you're feasting right now.
Thank you, Kai.
Yeah,
thank you,
Kai. Yep.
Huncho J-Man. Who else is putting out some shredders? Zach Cunha. He's got the Nas Reed City Edition.
Yeah.
Yes.
DoseNet Live.
DoseNet Live has been on fire. Who else?
Timberwolves Brasilia.
That one is unhinged.
Yeah.
They are unstoppable.
They retweeted one of my tweets recently. I was very honored.
Nice.
It was awesome.
You're international.
But yeah, we can save a lot of the specifics for the breakdown of the game.
Yeah.
But I guess I caution. I see two very polarizing sides I see on Twitter, which is the moral victory side, which is just complete, like, we're not going to win the series. It's totally fine. It's not a big deal, whatever. And that's discounting people's. It's like, you root for this team all year. Don't demean that. Like, let them mourn how they mourn. But then there's the other side that is total masochism. Like, the world is on fire. Beck most of the season, really, is what I'm.
I think he's pretty level.
No. He is
level-headed too.
No. I'm just kidding about your. Like on Suicide Watch every time that they.
I did say in the group chat in the morning of yesterday, I was like, me this morning, house money from this point. I'm just glad we got in. Me during the 4th quarter tonight. If they don't score on this possession, I'm gonna kill myself
on live TV. So to my point, there's that. That is one polar side, and then there's the side that's like, we were never gonna win. It's totally fine. We're just happy to be here. And I think most people fall in the middle ground, and I want to normalize that, because I think that there's
moderate over here. Stands for nothing, falls for everything.
Yeah.
And sorry, keep going.
And no, I just think that because of Minnesota basketball being the way it's been for the past 20 years, there's a lot of mixed in NFL fans that are used to watching a sport that is a one game, every game's a one game playoff. There's no series. You can get lucky and just win the Super Bowl. That's not how basketball typically is. It's much more averaged out and the better team wins out over a series. And so I want to remind people that it sucks, to your point, Beck. Like, yeah, it's a failure, but that doesn't mean that good can't come from this. You're building towards next year. You're trying to see what you got. We're testing some of the big lineups. There are story arcs in the series.
We're testing them.
We are certainly testing them. We're seeing why you should elevate Luka Garza and not have Nate Knight be your backup.
Anyway, or sign Pat Bev.
All that to say is it's not cut and dry. People on Twitter that are all listening to this podcast right now.
All 100 of them.
Yeah.
Love them.
All right, over to you.
I just want to say I was going to ask how your Vikings fandom informs his opinion, but you just took it there by yourself, and I'm so proud of you. What's going on? It's like we're co-hosts and friends. What's up? Yeah. Okay, in my opinion, I think the vibes are completely indiscernible. I have no idea what's going on, and I'm so scared. On one hand, we're a beat-up team. We're shorthanded. We're missing energy guy and defensive player of the year guy. So that would really help against the Nuggets. We're coming in against a 1 seed who is well rested and employs, like I said, the back-to-back reigning MVP. Rudy Gobert cannot jump, and we don't have our plus-minus king anymore. J-Mac got monstered.
Yeah, the Monstar stole his talent,
and we got massacred. I think we should have seen this coming, given just the rope has run out. Right, we've come back from many down circumstances, but this is it. We have 7 players that we can play, maybe 6 playable people. Mm-hmm. But what makes me very mad and what puts me on the negative side is that the circumstances do not matter and the details do not matter. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm very swayed by the national media discussions around our team. And
what?
I just get so sad that after Cat's great game and a pretty composed return from injury where he's not whining that much or he contains it pretty well. And he's been playing well. None of that matters anymore. The media will crucify him again, per usual. They'll crucify Ant with the Donald Trump "turn off the lights" meme. They're going to hit him with that in big time. And despite the fact that I'm yelling about Rudy all the time, and I went pretty far in both directions on Rudy Gobert, everyone's going to say "oh man, he sucks. He's the worst." Blah 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 blah. When he can't move, and I don't want to call this experiment a failure until 2.5 seasons, given the circumstances. I think this season it's kind of
I don't know if it's going to make it 2.5 seasons.
I don't know if it's going to
maybe
either.
2.25, but not
if this is NBA 2K and you could simulate, I'd simulate it for 2.5 seasons. But that takes about 10 minutes. I just don't know. I see the tightrope they're walking where they're trying to do both timelines, both Cat's timeline and Ant's timeline at the same time. And I see the vision and it's so bold and I appreciate the swing. For as much shit as I give Tim Connolly, I go, damn, there are moments where this really works. And then there's moments where it absolutely just does not work at all. And I think that's weighted far more heavier in my eyes. And
it just sucks that we can't see what he's doing in a vacuum. Yeah. Because that's not how real life works. There's too many variables, too many.
Yeah, but I wish it was a clean study, but but I'm kind of galaxy braining it right now. That's just where I think about the future and I think about the idea of what it could be. It's kind of like my D'Angelo Russell syndrome. I can see what he can be and it's so intoxicating. I think the experiment is intoxicating. So I guess my answer is the vibes. I have no idea. They're more on the negative side, but also I'm happy, like you said, Brandon, that we got in and we were able to avoid that part of the national discourse because I wouldn't be able to handle it. So let's move on. And we have 4 questions mapped out for this. What went well in the 2 playing games? I think there's a lot to parse out there. We'll talk about the Nuggets matchup. It's not going to be good. Any potential silver linings? And then what do the Wolves need to do to not be embarrassed again? We'll talk about those 4 things. So what went well in those 2 play-in games? Can I kick this off?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
I think Cat was decisive and aggressive. He was thinking quick, and it led to very good things. The first 2.5 quarters of the Lakers game, and then all of Oklahoma. He was just boom, 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 boom. Even the first quarter of the Nuggets game, very quick. His passes, this little bit, the behind the head thing was looking very good for a quarter. And also Mike Conley being 30% more trigger happy and more aggressive offensively. I really liked the way the offense looked when Mike Conley was 30% more. How did you miss that?
Yeah, I'm just speaking last game when he took
5
shots.
Yeah, I know. Anyway. So those are the 2 things that stood out to me. I think those are the at least what I was looking at. But also, I love Cat and Mike Conley, and I always watch them when they're on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest takeaway from both playing games for me, like you said, it's Cat. Despite the national discourse around like the Wolves had a legendary power outage in the fourth quarter of that game, to the point where if they literally make one shot in the last 6 minutes, they win the game.
Yeah.
And Cat contributed a lot to that because he picked up that fifth foul, and so he toned back the aggression because he didn't want to foul out of the game. But like you said, leading up to that, he was playing one of the best games
he's ever played
on a huge stage. And I don't know, he doesn't do himself any favors because he commits a lot of really stupid fouls. Like the one where he just like charged in from the perimeter and bowled his shoulder into LeBron was just like stupid. And
but when Aaron Gordon does it, it's a Bleacher Report highlight. Yeah, fuck out of here, dude. I hate it so much.
The stiff arm to Bando's throat was just stupid.
That seemed personal.
He commits like he commits like 3 or 4 just obvious stupid fouls a game. So he gives himself no room for error on the benefit of the doubt stuff. But it also just kind of bugs me how he's just held to this standard of, sure, you can't like quibble with a lot of the calls that go against him, but he has to be so perfect to get the benefit of the doubt of the whistle. So I think about the fifth foul he picked up on Anthony Davis. And once again, if we're going to compare this to the Nuggets game, the way that Jokic just like discarded him
unbelievable
in the second quarter yesterday is just kind of the same thing. And I'll acknowledge Cat probably fouled Anthony Davis on that play.
Yeah.
Cat wasn't in good position on that play. But Cat wasn't in good position, and Anthony Davis, as a result of that, probably fouled him before Cat fouled Anthony Davis. Because
this is the free throw one you're talking about, right? Where he fell over?
The one where, so Cat's not in good box out position, but then Anthony Davis like slides under, like grabs him by the hip and slides underneath him and just puts him in this awkward position where they're both falling down. Yeah. And so Cat just catches himself on Anthony Davis, which, stupid. Don't grab Anthony Davis and pull him down. But like I said, we look at other guys and they don't have to be that perfect. And a play like that, where the rebound went the opposite direction, that just feels more like a play on to me in a playoff atmosphere with a team's best player and his fifth foul. Like, we don't see that get called on other guys. Like I said, Nikola Jokic 2 days later just discarded Cat and threw him to the ground, and it was just nothing. So I think that kind of bugs me, but don't put yourself in that position by committing the stupid fouls earlier in the game. And there also has to come a point where you just need to throw caution to the wind, because the thing, I have this take that foul trouble is kind of a myth.
Hang on.
Well,
he doesn't believe you can get fouled out.
Well, no.
You actually can get unlimited fouls. They don't want you to know that, but you can get as many as you want.
Left,
so
right,
here's my point. Here's my point, okay?
Yes.
Cat sat out of that game at different points, and the Lakers got back into it because Cat was, quote unquote, in foul trouble. Cat finished the game with 5 fouls. You only get the maximum out of a guy if he fouls out of the game.
Yeah.
So, like, they sat Cat. They sat Cat with his 5th foul. The Lakers like stormed back into the game, and sure, they had Cat available for crunch time, but maybe you don't need crunch time if you just throw caution to the wind and you're like, play till you foul out, because then you get the maximum amount of Cat minutes. Maybe you put the game away with 4 minutes to go instead of the Lakers continuing to chip back into it. So,
which we maybe do if we have Naz Reid. Naz Reid, damn it.
In this like playoff environment, I understand like the crunch time minutes are super important, and they were just so bad when Cat was off the floor in that game. But that's a lot of negative talk about Cat. If we move forward to the Thunder game, caveat, small team, no center, but just like brilliantly attacked the mismatch. Really pressed the size advantage, which is super encouraging, because if you're going to try to be the biggest team in the NBA, you need to play like the biggest team in the NBA. And for a 1-game sample size there, they really did. That's kind of an extreme of extremes, like biggest team of the NBA versus smallest team in the NBA.
They was 6'9". They started a guy like 6'9".
A 6'9" rookie at center.
Yeah.
And like the backup center is Dario Saric. But the counter to that is the small team can kill you in transition, and they didn't let that happen because they really pressed that advantage size-wise. And I think Cat played, given the circumstances, the best game of his career.
Whoa.
In that game. I mean, as far as
what about the Spurs game?
Well, but that game just didn't matter as much.
You're talking about the lights and the stage.
And that's something I also kind of wanted to talk about is it's been up and down offensively. Like the fit stuff has been weird. Rudy and Cat together still doesn't really work. And that's concerning. And we can't really get like Cat and Ant going at the same time at any point right now. But in Cat's favor, since he came back from the calf injury, I just want to make sure we're acknowledging that I've been really impressed with his demeanor and composure, which is a huge flaw in Cat's game. Yeah. And through even the tough games, Cat has done a really good job not blowing a fuse at the refs. I mean, Cat committing that 5th foul in that Lakers game in years past is a recipe for him blowing his top, and he didn't.
Automatic tech.
And so I think that's really like good for him.
Yeah, I hope that can continue. Durf, do you have any play-in game?
My notes for it were that Cat did good.
That's so well said.
I mean, it's the same thing we just said. Like, there's a very clear size advantage, and we took.
We have to talk about Nah though too.
Yeah. That was amazing. That was so fun to watch.
It's nice to see that come to fruition because like we were pretty high on Nah. We're like, as was everyone. It's Minnesota fans.
Real quick, I want to hear it. I want to hear it from his mouth. Who was the one that decided that Nah was going to start that game? There's somebody in charge.
I think it was a guy named Tim Connolly.
Yeah. Somebody who's been mentioned 1,000 times on this show.
I'd also just like to point out when the trade went down and we did our little Nah preview segment, I told you guys that I didn't believe in the shooting and I thought he could still be impactful without the shooting.
And you were right.
And I was right because he's still not a very good shooter. Yeah,
but I was told
he's remained very impactful. I
was told you can't argue hypotheticals, and we were talking about future output, and that's a hypothetical.
Yeah. So. But going back to
just a terrible argument.
I'm saying we can't argue hypotheticals in hindsight.
We can't talk about anything that hasn't happened yet.
This is too existential.
Hypothetical future things.
No, it's not. It's hypothetical.
I was so stoked to see Nah get the nod.
Dude. The nod.
Yeah. And just to see him, just a hustle guy. Because now that J-Mac absolutely blows, who's worried about J-Mac? We have a guy that can set the pace.
His soul died somehow. I don't know. Something apart him.
Make him a coach. Make J-Mac a coach.
I would.
Hang on. Nah. Let's talk about Nah. We're jumping around.
All right, fine.
It's just nice to have a spark plug again because my Nah is going to be the spark plug, but he is 19. And does not, I don't think he knows any of the plays. I don't think he understands any terms that Finch says yet. J-Mac is ass. So Nah is like our energy guy. And when he's on the floor and pushing it, you can feel it. And everyone follows suit. He's kind of like a Vando. He's like a Pat Bev. He's like a freaking, one of those types. Yes.
Interesting that you bring up Vando because I actually have this in my notes. Obviously, I think we're to the point now with how well he's played in these big games where it feels like he's like a priority to bring back in the offseason as a restricted free agent. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at Vando as like a decent comp for him for as far as contract goes. So like Vando as a restricted free agent who had shown some stuff but hadn't made that leap where he jumped into the starting lineup last season.
Yeah.
Vando got 3 years for $12 million as a restricted free agent. And if Nickeil Alexander-Walker would sign on for 3 years, $12 million. I think that's a great contract. A great contract for a guy that I think can play.
What is he? 24?
I think he's 25.
So he
is 24.
Okay, so he's kind of in the Jaden and Ant timeline. So that's another young guy,
and you can absolutely develop him.
Put him next to Matteo Spagnuolo when he comes up to the Wolves.
You can absolutely develop him.
Jimmy loves the European white guys. You draft and stash
a domestic white guy. Get him out of here, Austin Reeves. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Get him out of here.
But
the nice thing about Na is that you can develop him into like a 9 to 10 3 points a game. It's sustainable.
That's all we need. I loved it, and I appreciate Finch riding the high of Na and starting him, but it's got to be TP just from the size. That's a good segue into the Nuggets.
TP's been terrible.
He's been very bad,
dude.
but at least he can box out. You can put a butt on someone.
That was actually something I have in my
Love that.
That's what they say. Put a butt on someone.
in my
TP?
Denver preview.
You put him on a
notes.
butt.
Oh God, this is such a weird episode.
It is very weird. I love it.
I actually have a thing. So one big key I think to the Denver series is they just have to find an eighth guy who can play.
Say it.
Well,
Say it.
Before we get to that point, I was also going to say the Jaden Nas thing really exposes like some of the depth where you just get like a little too deep. TP has been so bad to the point where if they were full strength, I don't think he would be playing, but he's just so essential because of how thin they are. But like in that OKC game, the only time it really started to look like a game was when Nickeil Alexander-Walker sat down. TP had to guard Shea, and Shea just cooked him 5 possessions in a row. Last night's game, I don't think that any one player is to blame for what happened. I think it was total system failure, but he lost Michael Porter Jr. on like 3 straight back cuts. And so they need more out of TP, but they also need to find.
I looked at the stat sheet. I didn't notice this before, but TP did not hit a shot yesterday.
Yeah, TP was terrible.
I thought he scored. He didn't even score.
No, he was horrible.
Oh my gosh,
but
TP.
like even on offense, like that'll come and go. He's a role player. The defense was so bad.
It was terrible.
And it's been bad for a couple games now.
Which is a bummer because he was a scrapper for a little bit there. Like
he's still a scrapper. I just don't think he's that good of a defensive player.
Yeah.
Like
He's
without Jaden McDaniels, he's forced up the pecking order defensively, and he's just not really equipped for that. But yeah, they do need to find an 8th guy.
Say it.
I don't think it can be Jordan McLaughlin.
Say it.
Actually, before we get to that, I think it was Britt, it might have been Jace, where they were talking about Jordan McLaughlin and kind of the Monstars stealing his talent thing that's happened.
Yeah.
And they brought up an interesting point that I don't know if you can actually statistically prove this out, but I think it's kind of an interesting take. The yin and yang of Jordan McLaughlin and D'Angelo Russell, you wonder how much that contributed to Jordan McLaughlin's value, where it's like D'Angelo Russell is playing like this slow-paced, in and out cat and mouse game, and then Jordan McLaughlin comes in and just like in a split second, you're like injected with all this pace and this frenetic energy and everyone's flying around. Now you're playing with Mike Conley, and then Jordan McLaughlin checks in and he's just worse Mike Conley.
Yeah.
It's like, what if Mike Conley was right-handed and couldn't shoot?
I don't like it. I don't like that player.
And he's so, I just think,
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting
because
point.
like the defense, it's a totally different look.
Yeah.
And it just benefits the offense to have.
Well, and I wonder if that's why.
advantage.
and no Nas really.
That
like
sucks.
that.
Yeah.
The Nas J-Mac chemistry is a big thing.
Because I feel like when we'd see those lineups with them both out on the court, it's like J-Mac can bring the ball up, and D'Lo can sometimes knock down a shot. So you like he kicks it out to him in the corner, whatever. But now Conley's bringing up the ball, and for some reason J-Mac spotted up in the corner, clanking threes every time because no one's guarding him.
Yeah.
But it is a really weird dynamic where it's like more of the same.
Do we wish for a Jalen? I was kind of happy to see Jalen.
I think he's the guy to get the next look. He played really well in garbage time
Yep.
Yeah.
last night.
He hit a 3.
He hit a couple threes. I think he hit 3 threes.
I just saw the one.
Yeah, I turned it off.
Yeah.
But he hit one early. He hit one in the second quarter too,
That was nice
and he
to
hit
see. When the game
at least
mattered.
one in the fourth quarter. But he looked good in garbage time. I think he's the logical next guy to get a look. Although, man, you are asking to get beat on a lot of backdoor cuts when Jokic has the ball with Space Cadet Jalen Noel guarding someone. I don't know if there are really good answers. I hate to say this, I think that Austin Rivers is going to play on Wednesday.
I'm fine with that.
Dude, he's so bad.
I was really there was a moment there where I was like, hang on, our friend's back. I had to fire off one more.
He's slower, J-Mac.
I think, personally, I think that they should just go for it with Minot or Wendell Moore. Like one of them as the lower seed, as the 8 seed playing the 1 seed, you really shouldn't be trying to find competence, that's what the J-Mac and the Austin Rivers.
You want to swing.
Like the Austin Rivers, J-Mac things are like, these are veterans
you know what you're
who
getting.
I think are reliable and I know aren't going to make mistakes. Like Minot and Moore are more of like, we're just leaning into variance.
Yeah.
Where it's Josh Minot could come in and it could be an unmitigated disaster for 2 minutes. But it could also just be like 2 minutes of the wildest, craziest, quick
effort.
6 points, offensive rebounds, and maybe you just like find something in that. But you don't have that much to lose because you're just so much worse.
Deploy all your
than the Nuggets.
Yeah. Deploy everything you got.
I think Wendell's a little bit small.
Lawnmower gif. You'll never know if you try unless you try.
Yeah, exactly.
Mike and Nebor.
I mean, I know we all love Josh Minot. I would give the nod to Wendell Moore first. You've just got more invested in him. He's your first round pick. He has played in big games. I mean, he went to the Final Four.
What's his size though? I worry about his size against like a Michael Porter Jr. or something. That's who he'd probably match up.
He'd probably be guarding more of like
a Jamal
Murray, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope,
Murray's a
Christian
big guard.
Brown. Murray, he's not that big.
He's like
6'4".
He's got a nice chest. Are you kidding me? Murray's got a nice chest and back. And I saw a video once.
Wendell
Moore is not
6'5".
Yeah, Wendell Moore is not small.
He's 6'5".
He seems skinny, maybe because he's young. You guys missed my Jamal Murray blowjob video joke. You didn't even acknowledge
You're
it.
gonna say just video, and I was like, you tweeted that?
No, you
Maybe
missed
not a
my
good
joke.
one.
I was saying he's nice. No, I said Jamal Murray. He's big, right? He's got a nice. He's got good pecs, good back. I saw a video once. He's got a nice, and you guys went right over it. Nah, dude, I'm mad. Okay,
No, that's pretty good.
they sucked the air out of the show.
So the only thing
it's always great when someone misses a joke and you're like, no, we need to go back to this joke.
That joke sucked the air out of the show, like the way that girl sucked the life out of Jamal Murray on Instagram.
It's like the air out of everyone following him on Twitter for like 20 minutes.
Yes. Should I censor that or no? Are we at that point? Where we
I mean,
we're just it happened.
Yeah.
Like
we are reporting what happened.
It's history.
Jamal
he literally
Murray
tweeted a picture of him receiving.
He posted it on his Instagram.
a video. Do you think it was Instagram red, like, you record, or was it camera roll?
No, it's
and then you
remember,
accidentally uploaded it.
I think it's how live used to be like you.
It was on live.
No, it wasn't live.
Wasn't it?
No, he posted.
Can you imagine people joining? my mom.
Whatever. What are we talking about? Wendell. I'm cool with Wendell. I like Wendell. I think he's got a high IQ. I mean, turn on the lights. I think he's got it. But why not just bigger? And
I agree that we shouldn't be playing the guys that we know you're ceiling, and it's not going to move the needle for us.
Yeah.
So let's try something new.
Yes. What else is there? Oh, silver linings. Should we move into silver linings from the Nuggets game? Or
I just have one other like big picture thing about the Denver matchup. I feel like I've been like pretty negative on the Denver matchup, and I just want to provide a little context as to why I think the series is probably going to go 4 or 5 games and not be like particularly close. Once again, I think that's fine. I think that's not the disaster. The disaster already happened.
Yeah.
First off, I think people are reading way too much into Denver's poor finish to the season because they've been the 1 seed forever, and it's just really hard to get motivated to play games that don't matter at the end of the season. So yeah, sure, they were 12-11 over the last 23 games, and they still won the West by like 4 games.
Yeah.
And then also Denver is just
they're good.
I've been seeing a lot of people like saying this is a good matchup for the Wolves. I don't see it. They're like the worst matchup for the Wolves because they can get out in transition and kill you, which is like bullet number one way to beat the Wolves is to just get out in transition. And they're the only team really that can do that at a high level that they don't have a massive size advantage against.
Yeah.
Because Nikola Jokic is standing in the middle of everything. So, like, OKC has this, like, massive advantage of getting out in transition against the Wolves. But the counter to that is the Wolves have this massive advantage they can press of being bigger than them. The Wolves aren't bigger than the Nuggets, and they can get out in transition just as effectively as those teams.
Would your outlook change if Nas and Jaden were healthy?
I was going to say that's the difference maker because we have a better bench, or we had a better bench.
We did.
I think it's like obviously closer games. Maybe the series goes 6. The transition defense has been bad all season when Kat and Rudy have played. And that's Denver's whole thing is getting out in transition and scoring. And they're going to spread you out and shoot the lights out.
Yeah.
and just Nikola Jokic is one of the best players in the world.
He's also a bitch. He complains way more than Kat.
I also just want to acknowledge everyone's complaining about that Jokic video and saying that it was a travel. It wasn't a travel.
Oh, I thought you were going to say when he tried to murder Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, when he tried
to
murder Anthony Edwards, that was
when
dumb.
he double-armed clotheslined him.
When he did
he's weak.
When he did like the crazy like jump stop.
I thought his right foot was the pivot.
No, so
was that his gather?
He doesn't gather. You're not gathered until you have both hands on the ball, both feet on the ball.
I've never gathered.
So like he does the jump stop with one hand on the ball, lands with 2 feet, gathers with 2 hands on the ball, then he drop steps into a layup. It's not a travel.
The gather is what trips me up.
So it's the same concept as like the James Harden step back. As long as you don't have your second hand on the ball, you're still dribbling.
Okay. Yeah.
Then once you pick it up, you establish your pivot foot, and then you can jump off of the other foot, but you have to shoot or pass.
It was a great move. I just look at it and go, but maybe it was so good that those are the best moves, right?
Yeah. I've seen it in slow motion. It wasn't a travel.
I don't mind the travel. I do mind just how much he gets away with on the offensive end. Again, I say this every show. I tweet it every time it happens. But if Kat did anything that Jokic did, he would be sent to freaking Alcatraz, like just murder.
It's not a thing.
Yes,
they'd reinstate Alcatraz just for him. Bad news. I googled, is Nikola Jokic a bad guy, and there's nothing supporting it. I want you to be right.
Okay, we gotta type some. Does he have a
aside
Twitter?
from? I mean, like
no, Nikola Jokic does not have a Twitter.
There's no way.
He said he just like loves horses and Pokemon.
Dang
it, he likes Pokemon.
Yeah,
I like him.
During like the All-Star break, they were like, "What are you gonna do during your time off?" He's like, "Probably just sit at home and watch Pokemon."
That's awesome. So he's just a guy. He's just a big baby. That's a massive man. And he's got acne on his arms, and
who among us?
His nose is bleeding constantly.
What's up with that?
I don't know, dude. It happened yesterday too. I was like, "What are you leading with your nose? Are you trying to get it?"
No, I don't even know what to make of that. So let's talk about silver linings from yesterday's destruction, if there are any. What are the silver linings? I kind of liked Kat's aggression again in the first half. It looked, even if the shots weren't falling, I liked. His trying to get there again, and I even liked his passing in the first half. Second half passing was very bad
for everyone on the team.
I liked that he was trying to get himself and his teammates going, and we also got the "it's that time" meme.
Yeah,
it's that time.
Remember silver linings. The next segment is what we can do.
Well, so I think I do like Kat trying to get himself going.
And it was quick.
I think he was almost too quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I could see
like. Everything felt rushed and forced with him in the first half. Like he that first like really deep 3 he shot.
I wanted it so bad.
It felt really
I didn't think it was a bad shot. I think it just like everything happened too fast.
Yeah, I think they were playing with a lot of nervous energy, and so it was like kind of forcing it, not like settling in a little bit.
Yeah.
My silver linings for yesterday was. We lowered the bar as low as it can get.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
You didn't watch the last time we played the Nuggets.
I know. Hey, Huncho J-Man tweeted out a nice little statistical analysis about how this was the worst offensive possession or offensive rating of the whole year. So
even worse than the Clippers
shout out,
game?
Even worse than the Clippers game where Austin Rivers started at point guard.
I know. Dane talked about that on
God,
his
my
pod,
uncle
too.
was at the game, and I had to text him. I'm so sorry. You're watching this.
This is a vacuum.
It was very embarrassing.
Don't take anything out of it. But yeah, the bar is very lowered. And then also, we just learned all of the things that we should do better. And so
that's nice.
We can do those things next game, and then we'll win.
Yeah, my silver lining, kind of on a similar vein to yours, Durf, is that game is over. We never have to think about it again.
It is over. Sometimes they show replays, though.
Did you like seeing Ant show brief signs of life? A little bit of downhill Ant was back. Am I being too positive? I saw a little bit of it. I was like, there's old Ant from January.
I saw his final stat line, and I was like, I would not have said he scored 18 points in this game.
It was nice to see him hit his step back three to get to the rim, do some cool layups, and watch him go in.
He went from
not totally back.
Yeah, I mean, I just really view that game was just like total system failure.
It was bad.
Yeah.
I think that's just a flush it, move on game.
Yeah. I do think it. I mean, it's clear that Ant's not 100%. It looks like he's like, I do think that everything failed yesterday, but it just seems like he's just not himself.
Is that because Kat and Rudy are back and there's no more room?
That's what I don't know.
I'm a little concerned.
Because like the Pelicans game in the second half, when he was superhuman Ant carrying us to the 8 seed, Rudy Gobert was conspicuously off the court.
Yeah. So when Cat
alternate
and
those two,
it just hasn't. It just hasn't worked yet with all three of them together.
Yeah.
And the sample size is still kind of small, but we haven't really seen any progress.
Yeah, and
it seems to be getting worse.
Like the second Rudy goes off, and then Ant and Cat go to all NBA offensive form, it's like, oh God, what have we done?
Yeah, except. Rudy and Ant, I know that the Rudy and Ant like one-on-one chemistry hasn't worked. Like Rudy doesn't like get a ton of Ant doesn't get a ton of assists to Rudy and all that stuff. But All-Star Ant, like the ascension of Ant happened when he was playing with Rudy Gobert all through the middle of the season. So I don't know if it's an Ant can't play with Rudy and Ant can only play with Cat thing, as much of it's maybe just Ant can only play with one center, like a lot of NBA players.
Yeah, spacing issues that we're having.
Yeah.
I also think he clearly he succeeds well in transition, and we just haven't had a lot of that over the past few games.
We just don't even try to push it in transition
because we stall. Like he gets there, the spacing's weird, and when he has the ball in his hand, like that happened a few times where either we pass around the arc and just people keep passing out of open looks for some reason.
What's up with that?
That was so weird. No one wanted to take a shot. And then they passed it up for a way worse contested as the shot clock expired.
The only transition we had was Mike Conley bombing it with his offhand to Cat, who immediately throws an oop to Rudy. That was amazing.
That was the peak vibes, though.
Just Mike looking. I didn't realize it was offhand until like a little bit later.
Well,
I was
but
like,
he's actually naturally right-handed. That's why he shoots all his floaters right-handed.
Oh my God, this guy keeps getting better and better. That's why he's my favorite Timberwolf of all time.
Did you see the tweet where it was like, he's actually naturally right-handed, but he shoots left? And there was somebody, I think it's somebody on our team is right-handed, but they're naturally left-handed, but they shoot right. Was it?
I have no idea.
I don't know who that is.
Okay. Well, if you're listening to this pod.
Yeah, tweet us at No Pants Crunch if you know. What do the Wolves need to do to not be embarrassed again? We touched on this one already. They need to stagger Cat and Rudy. Rudy cannot move. He is broken. I hope he doesn't play FIBA this summer because that man needs to rest and just watch
Get
film.
a new back.
He needs a new back. I think you can kind of be like, hey, Rudy's hurt. He's coming off the bench. I don't know how Rudy's going to take that.
Yeah.
What do you guys make of staggering them or trying to figure that out? They can start together, but then you got to start
we have to in this series.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's really, really hard to stagger them if we only have 7 guys that can play.
Right.
I just think, man, I hate how negative I sound on this pod.
I mean, well, we're talking about getting better.
I just don't think I don't think there's an answer. I think
you think we're just gonna keep being embarrassed?
Well, I don't think they're gonna. I'll say again, yesterday was like total system failure. I think they can be better than that if they just shoot the ball better. Like even with
the flow being funky. I don't think it's realistic to expect Cat to shoot that poorly again. I think we're probably in for at least one like good Ant game at some point. Like they'll be able to compete in that way, but it's really hard to get to the lineups you want whenever Nate Knight or Jordan McLaughlin or Austin Rivers comes on the floor. It's just an immediate 1 minute long 11-0 run.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it's unfortunately we just that's what it is.
We have no more players.
Like all we can say is just try the things that we didn't do yesterday. But also there is something to be said about like I hope that we don't shoot 37% from the field the whole series.
Yeah.
Which
or like sub 50
it seems
from the line?
like I know it's hard because this isn't the team that we played with all year. We're missing two very key role players in Naz and Jaden, but it just seems like we're too resilient to go 4 games and out.
Resilience, he's back on it.
I know.
I just think, like I said earlier, I think we just need to lean into variance. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Try weird shit.
Yeah, why not? Because also be great for Wendell and not to learn.
1-1-1-1 zone.
Well, I like
1-1, yeah, 1-1-1-1.
Like just do weird stuff because that's the only way.
1-3-1 zone. Give them the baseline.
We're switching up.
Give them the baseline.
Backcourt guard, front court guard.
A zone defense against Nikola Jokic is insanity.
I want Conley down by the block. I want Cat guarding the perimeter. And Gobert.
Yeah, we want a Finch masterclass, something weird.
Yeah, weird.
We kind of touched on this. They need to stay aggressive and decisive. The starters came out the gate hot, and they were making smart, easy plays. Then they stopped making the smart, easy plays. Like you said, Durf, take the open shot, play quickly, and just play fundamental basketball. The Nuggets play nice, fundamental, smart basketball. Everyone knows their role. Everyone knows what they're doing. And the Wolves, again, they're doing that flow offense, and I don't think this team... Who tweeted that? I think it was Subcommandante Marcus was like, the Wolves are trying to play jazz and they have a great foundation for a rock band. Like, let's do some set plays and just try and, we might need to be a little bit more controlled. So that's one thing. And do you have anything to add to that, Brandon?
Yeah, I don't think that's the best way to get the most out of your, like the future of your franchise, Anthony Edwards. Like that might be a way to like maximize this 8-1 playoff matchup that even if you do that, I don't think you're going to win. And maybe that's just like the downfall of the trade that they made and the roster that they've constructed. But
well, it's a horrible downfall.
I don't think that's conducive to the best version of Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, but that's just for this series though. It's just for this series.
Yeah. I mean, you can't just like,
no, that'll stunt him forever.
But you can't just
remember.
You can't just like,
I mean, it might.
You can't just like build up a crazy effective set play offense out of nowhere.
That's true.
And I would
Where's
rather
more PNR and attack Jokic.
I would rather
we should be doing that.
I would rather lose this series 4-0 and be like empowering Anthony Edwards to do the things that we need him to do down the road in the playoffs than just like spamming Mike Conley, Rudy Gobert pick and roll to try to like squeeze a win or two out of this.
Or 4.
Oh,
this guy doesn't want to win the championship like we said we would.
I love Mike Conley, but
he's got 2 years left, probably.
Yeah, but like I would rather like Anthony Edwards continue taking playoff lumps doing things that are conducive to his development in this environment than trying to like squeeze every last ounce of efficiency out of it.
I just don't want to be embarrassed on Twitter again, dude. I have 47 Timberwolves jerseys, guys. If we get swept, it's gonna be bad.
You have 47.
I have 48. I bought Jeff Teague today, and that says a lot because I hate Jeff Teague.
You have 47 down on the Wolves, and that's impressive.
I don't think they're gonna get swept. My best guess is they lose
6
on
games.
Wednesday. I think it's 5 games. I think they lose on Wednesday. They win one of the 2 at Target Center, and then they lose on the road. The Nuggets are so good at home.
Yeah.
They're like 35-6 at home.
Yeah, you know who was else good at you know who else was good at home? Golden State, and we beat them at their arena. So that means through the transitive property, we're gonna win.
We're gonna win.
That is the one feather in the cap, the one vote of confidence of like maybe they can do this is who the hell knows with this team?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. 42 times this year, we were like, oh, they're not going to win this game. That's it.
And then they
every
won.
single game we were like, nope, they're not going to win.
Like they've dealt with so much adversity this season,
It's
and
so
it's like
weird.
all self-inflicted adversity. So this
Yeah.
isn't just like credit to them. It's also like you did a lot of this to yourself, but
Like a 16-year-old.
they have pulled more impossible wins out of their ass than I can even count. Like,
Yeah. Like the Timberwolves, the whole season's just been like we said, mad inconsistent, back and forth. What are you gonna get?
42. Go ahead.
You know what actually is very consistent? You can rely on every single freaking time. Joe Mama's salsa.
Ooh. That was a better transition than the Denver Nuggets transition offense. Am I right?
That would not have been good. But Joe Mama's is always good, all right? They're an independent and local salsa company. You can find their products right here locally at Cub Foods or Hy-Vee, or you can have the salsa shipped directly to you if you go to joemamas.com, JOMOMMAS. It's a magic carpet ride for your mouth, okay?
I can show you.
I can show you.
I can show
tomatoes.
you quality salsa.
So their flavors: original, Mama's Baby. That's the mild mango pineapple. You know my freaking
my
thoughts.
thoughts.
It's so good. Roasted garlic and smoking hot mama. So there's something everyone in the family will love. Okay. Let's see. What else is there? The fundraising. We've talked about that a
you
billion
can
times.
play baseball and hockey.
And you can fundraise with Joe Mama Salsa as opposed to really nasty frozen pizzas. So joemamas.com, JOMOMMAS, or Cub Foods or Hy-Vee. Brandon, you have any thoughts about Joe Mama's? You had hand motions going on. I thought you wanted to say something.
Joe Mama salsa, good.
It's so freaking
Hot take.
good.
Good.
Do you mind if I do one more? Because I don't think we have a natural spot for another one.
Another ad read.
Yeah, let's back to back it.
That's back to back.
Let's back to back like the Wolves play in championships.
Actually, no. Let's go into the playoff bracket.
Okay, can I say one? Okay, I just want to say one thing about what we need to do not to get embarrassed.
Yeah.
We need to win. No. We need
Inspired.
We need to make quicker decisions. We need to play better transition defense.
Yes.
That's just that easy.
Impossible.
Yeah, exactly.
Wolves play good transition defense. Impossible.
Trees, get up and walk away while you're at it. And
Was that a Cat and Rudy joke?
we need
trees.
Nice.
Yeah, it was. And also the trim. And we need to find a tertiary scorer
Mike
because
Conley.
I know it needs to
Well,
be
I
Conley.
guess he's number 2.
Or Jalen
Well, I'm just saying,
Noel.
like, you have Cat and Ant are your two, like,
I guess.
scorers.
No, only one
But,
of them
like,
can go at a time.
Yeah, exactly. They never.
Yeah,
they
that's
never
true, that's
play
true.
well together.
But we just need to find a third guy on the team that can score.
Yeah,
and
it's
it has to be Conley.
He's the only one
It's so
capable of it.
it's so
Or Jalen Noel.
or
Well,
TP if he could figure out how to shoot a
whatever.
basketball
No.
after that one.
He blew his
30
load in the Knicks.
Yeah, exactly. He shot the rest of that. They were
Yeah,
like,
but
this
that
is
was
how many,
legendary.
That
This
was
is
so
how many
good.
3-pointers you get for the rest of the year. Use them all up in one game.
I'll take it.
It was
Yeah.
a very good game. Okay, we're going to go through the 2023 NBA playoffs bracket. There's 3 of us, so we're just going to vote and see who is going to win, and we'll go through the entire bracket, and we'll see who we think is going to win the NBA Finals this year. When we say our winner, let's keep it to a sentence, okay?
Who's going to be the person that votes for the Timberwolves in the Nuggets one?
I'm not sure if any of us will.
Oh, I was hoping just one of us would be.
I
the
think it'll
guy.
probably be me. Okay. Eastern Conference, Milwaukee, Miami. Miami's up 1-0. Who wants to vote for Milwaukee?
I mean,
Yeah,
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
But Giannis hurt his back yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll see.
We'll see what
if
happens.
If
In a
Giannis
world-
is out,
yeah.
that's
in a world
whole
where he
different
plays,
series.
then yes, Bucks.
But also Tyler Hero broke his hand. Did you see that?
Bucks and
Yeah.
6.
But I don't really think Tyler Hero's that important.
He can be good sometimes.
Their offense, Miami's offense stinks with Tyler Hero.
Max
so who
Yeah,
cares?
That's true.
Max Struss, world beater.
All right. So next up we have can I make this go live? Nah, shit.
Are you talking? Next series is Boston.
No, yeah, Cleveland and New York is what I'm looking at. Cleveland and New York. Cleveland's the 4, New York's the 5. I go Cleveland because they have Ricky Rubio.
My heart says the New York Knicks. I hate to say this because
It's Tibbs.
I hate Tom Thibodeau, but the Knicks are awesome.
Knicks are- I like Randall.
I do think the Knicks are going to pull it out.
Okay,
I'm picking the Knicks.
Yeah.
okay, cool. Next we have Philly and Brooklyn. Philly.
What's the score of the Philly-Brooklyn game right now?
Are they playing right now?
Yeah.
Oh, there.
I'm gonna pick Philly
What's
too.
the score? Tell me before
Yeah.
I vote.
Philly's up 8.
Okay, then Philly.
I'll say
There's
Philly.
no way they come back from that 8-point.
So and then lastly we have Boston, Atlanta,
Boston very
Boston
clearly.
in 3.
Yeah, for real.
Like, Atlanta is so bad.
They're not great.
The Hawks are all on the sideline like Bugs Bunny and all of them in Space Jam.
So
in neck braces.
let's keep going through the Eastern Conference. We have Milwaukee versus who was the winner of Cleveland and New York?
That was the Knicks.
Oh, yeah. So we have Milwaukee and Knicks. Who's winning? I say Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we have Philly versus Boston.
Boston.
And we have
Because
Oh, I didn't even get to vote.
but
Well, you suck.
I'm gonna pick Boston.
so we have the 1 and 2 matchup coming out of the East. Milwaukee or Boston. Who do you got? Is that a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference final? I think it was.
I think it's
Was
Boston.
that the Eastern Conference final? I think it's Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee is
Ooh, okay, you're the deciding vote here. You're the swing vote. What do you think? Make your case.
I have there's more love in my heart for Milwaukee.
I mean, no, I'd prefer Milwaukee, but
is cool.
I think it's
but
Boston.
they have Giannis. They have the best player in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
one of the 10 best players ever.
yeah, but he got his back removed or something. Didn't you just say?
Yeah.
I think it's gotta be Milwaukee. Milwaukee's going to the finals. Whatever.
I hope you're right. They're my second team. You know.
All right, moving to the West. Denver and Minnesota.
Denver.
Okay.
Wait, I didn't vote yet.
Yeah, you
Don't
did.
do it.
Phoenix and the
Just throw both
Clippers. Phoenix should waltz to the Western Conference Finals, but I'm not sure they're going to.
Yeah, I don't want to overreact to one game.
Yeah, but they can't lose the Clippers. The Clippers
Russell
are
Westbrook
there.
went 3 for 19, but
Yeah.
he was like cool. It was like a cool,
was-
impactful Russ game.
It was the best 3 for 19
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
Did you know they did some research on this? Russell Westbrook has the most 3 for 19 games in NBA
No
history.
way.
He's
All
got
the-
4 of them.
That's like a scoregami stat.
Yeah.
Like just the most obscure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to pick Phoenix too, but I think that series is going to be closer than we're giving credit to, and I think
it'll be.
I think Phoenix is being a little overrated.
how.
I think we do this thing with Kevin Durant where every team Kevin Durant is on, we're like, well, they're the favorites to win the title. And except for the year that he played with Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson, it's never happened.
That's true.
Yeah, but maybe it'll be different this time.
Maybe.
Like I think Kevin Durant is a terrific player, and
Yeah,
he made the
it's-
Suns a lot better, and they certainly could win the finals, but this happened in Brooklyn too. Like the moment he was on the Brooklyn, everyone
It's
was
kind
like,
of a Kyrie thing.
well, yeah, but it happened.
Yeah, that's true.
They didn't win anything when they were in OKC either. Like
the Clippers to me, the Clippers seem like the way more volatile between the two teams.
And they have a
Yeah,
better bench.
where you're like, you could win or you could lose by 20.
Yeah.
it's hard to
I
bet
don't
against Kawhi, but it's easy to bet.
Yeah, I was going to say
against Russell
Westbrook.
Westbrook.
Well, yeah.
So
Paul George isn't playing.
Yeah, I know. That's why I stopped saying.
and the Clips do have the better bench than
Playoff
Phoenix.
Paul.
Yeah. But again, Phoenix has Devin
has-
Booker and Kevin Durant and Chris Paul.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Phoenix has 3 of the 4 best players.
Did the
Yeah.
did the Suns not have a bench anymore? I haven't looked at their roster.
No.
Their
They-
depth is
decimated.
They
terrible.
hemorrhaged everyone for.
Yeah. Well, they
KD.
didn't have great depth before the KD trade.
Now it's
and
even- it's
now it's
very
even
bad.
worse.
Yeah.
Moving on, Kings versus Warriors. Warriors in 5.
I'm picking the
It's the
Kings.
Kings.
I think the Kings are
Peh.
this is the type of thing that you should be all about. The Kings are being like hilariously slept on by the national media. They were the 3rd best team in the Western Conference all year, and they're being picked as
picked against.
underdogs.
Nah, their fans were mean to the Timberwolves on Twitter. I don't
They're
care.
being picked as underdogs against a team that won 11 road games all season.
This guy hates
And
them.
so the Warriors have to win at least one road game to win this series.
You know what? I'm in on the Kings. I don't
Yes,
like Draymond. I don't like
let's
Draymond.
go.
I don't like Draymond. I don't want to side with Draymond.
This guy's pro monarchy now.
Yeah, I'm back.
All right.
And
but
then yes.
go ahead.
No, I was going to move on to
The
Memphis and
Sixers cut the lead to 5, so that might it's a swing.
Lakers. Yeah, whatever. Memphis and Lakers. Who can they both lose?
I'm gonna go.
Dylan Brooks is the loser of
I'm
that
gonna go
game.
against my. This is not me saying I think the Lakers are good because I still don't think the Lakers are good.
They're a
But
confounding team because they can be very
the
good.
jaw injury is big, and
The injury.
the injury. And Anthony Davis is a really tough matchup for Jaren Jackson.
Yeah.
Who not having Steven Adams in that series is going to really hurt them. So I think that the Lakers have a really good chance in that series.
I think I go Lakers too because I believe in D'Angelo Russell.
Well, I do not believe in D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah. I'm gonna
That's
go
still my
Lakers, too.
friend. Oh wow. Okay.
Sorry, my wife is FaceTiming me.
Oh my god. All right. Next up, we have Denver versus Phoenix. in the semis. Jokic is a bad matchup. Well, is Ayton a defender? I don't even know what the.
I can't speak.
Yeah,
DeAndre Ayton or Augie's
hold on. Augie, plug your ears.
We need. Should we FaceTime him and get an analysis real quick? He's probably parenting.
Is he a Phoenix Suns fan?
Yeah,
first?
Yeah.
First,
100%. Yeah, he's from Phoenix.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick Denver in that series. I'm really high on Denver. I think Denver is really good.
That's a mountain joke. That's an altitude joke.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
So Denver
and a weed joke. I am also gonna pick Denver because I think they're gonna win.
I think Phoenix has cooler jerseys, and they have Kevin Durant, and he's a really good player.
He is. It's very hard to bet against Kevin Durant.
Every team that has Kevin Durant has won the championship.
Every team that's had KD is always a.
Every team that's had KD has been the favorite to win the championship.
That's all that
It's only ever happened when he played with Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson.
That's all that matters if you talk to the TNT crew. Anyway.
Sacramento versus LA. That's an interesting matchup.
Sacramento in 5.
Who'd you say they're playing?
The Lakers.
Sacramento all day, baby.
Yeah, they'll run them out the gym because the Lakers have no defense.
No, the Lakers defense is awesome.
Is it actually?
Yeah, the Lakers. That's the one thing is the Lakers.
No,
defense.
it's not.
Yeah, the Lakers have had the best defense in the NBA since like 2023 because of Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I was gonna say AD.
They actually have bad defense.
No, they have good defense.
They have good defense.
Austin Reeves. I don't know. Is he
Anthony Davis? They have Anthony Davis and Jared Vanderbilt.
I guess
their defense has been really good.
Wow, I was tripping.
Imagine putting
it's the offense that has
Vanderbilt
been bad
next to a defensive-minded Karl Anthony Towns.
But I think Sacramento doesn't need to do a ton of work in the paint, which is where like the Lakers like thrive at protecting the paint. I think Sacramento can just kill them, like run them out of the gym.
Wait, why do I think the Lakers have bad defense? That's because like when the Wolves play them, we just kind of go on little runs.
Well, you do know we didn't score in the last 6 minutes of the last game.
That's because the spacing was so bad. That seems more self-inflicted than Lakers inflicted.
The spacing was bad though because they didn't have like Anthony Davis was lurking.
So I think what you're thinking of is that they're bad offensively, so that it's close. Like the scores are close.
I mean, the Lakers
it's still like 107 to 109.
The Lakers can put together like a pretty ferocious like Dennis Schroeder, Jared Vanderbilt, Anthony Davis, like trio of defenders.
I don't know why I didn't put that together. I don't know how people watch so many games every day.
Look who you're talking to.
I have so much time on my hands.
Beck hasn't missed a game this year of any team.
That's so freaking hot. Okay, we got.
I watch a lot more Western Conference than I do Eastern.
Sacramento's winning because they're just an offensive powerhouse.
That's what I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
So but can Sabonis handle AD like that?
I think Sabonis. I mean, not defensively, he certainly can't, but it's just a math problem.
Quick.
It's just a math problem. Like D'Angelo Russell cannot play in a series against the Sacramento Kings. Like they try to hide him on like Kevin Herter or something.
Is that why you're picking Sacramento?
He's the swing.
I mean, I really don't believe in D'Angelo Russell as a playoff player.
The discourse of the fans, that Lakers fans are like, oh my gosh, they're already up to here.
I can't believe it.
He actually had a very good game one.
He has, but they're starting to notice things that you don't see on the stat sheet that we see every game.
So in the semis, we have in the conference final, we have Denver versus freaking Sacramento.
Denver.
Yeah, Denver.
My vote doesn't matter.
Denver, Sacramento's defense is really going to be a problem against Denver.
Yeah, it's gonna be a massacre. Denver and Milwaukee in the finals. I think it might be Denver.
Milwaukee.
Do we have ones across the board?
Yes, we do. We took a lot of bold choices here, guys.
Good thing we did this exercise.
I don't know if you've watched the NBA before, but it's a very chalky tournament.
I know. I just had that whole point about.
No, I don't think there's only been like a small handful of teams below 2 seeds that have ever won the championship.
I just meant like the matchup being ones.
Yeah.
But I agree with the matchup. So we have Denver versus the
Milwaukee.
Bucks.
Yeah. And you're the swing vote. Jally picked Denver. I picked Milwaukee.
Let me think of the matchup. I can't.
Let me look at Milwaukee.
As long as Giannis is playing, then it's Bobby Portis. He's the swing for me.
Speaking of people I would die for,
I love
Bobby Portis.
Hang on.
So good.
I'm switching my vote to the Bucks.
Okay.
I looked at the
Welcome aboard.
roster and I got really excited by Brooke Lopez.
Brooke Lopez finished second in the Defensive Player of the Year.
Lopez
I
is a lot of
love
fun.
that.
Their team is like, not only is it great, it's just fun. Like
Yeah.
there's so much fun to watch.
I really like Myers Leonard.
Also,
Whoa.
whoa.
Don't let ChatGPT hear you.
Dude, I bet you Wisconsin loves having Myers Leonard.
I tweeted
Hey,
this.
they're a
I-
swing state.
I tweeted this when they signed Myers Leonard. I was like, the Bucks have like the widest likability spectrum in the league
Yeah.
because on one end they have
Grayson
Myers
Allen.
Leonard and Grayson Allen, and then on the other hand they have Giannis and Drew Holiday and Brooke Lopez and Bobby Portis.
This is a very, very likable team. You know what else is super likable? Having amazing hair. Thanks to Duke Cannon. Take your hair and hygiene to the next level with Duke Cannon, all right? It's a Minnesota company that makes hard-working grooming products for
Hard-working men.
guys.
hardworking men. They got deodorants, beard care products, body wash, hair care, and more. Do I need to talk about the freaking viscous,
Oh, the
thick body wash?
No, we
We
know
don't
that.
need- we've-
Thick,
It's thick.
body wash.
It's a thick body wash. It exfoliates you. We don't need to talk about that. They also have the Big Ass Bar. I think that's their product name. The Big Ass
big
Bar.
ass bar.
It's
It's
for
for
your
cleaning
ass.
your ass.
You could. It's a bar of soap. It's for cleaning many things.
Going to the grocery store back and forth.
this one
on
is
my,
ass soap specifically.
yeah, for your donkey.
Oh my
Your
God.
donkey.
Oh, you guys are cursing over here?
Yeah. I'm a big Bay rum guy. Durf is the fan
Rum
of
Bay?
Rum Bay. The Bay rum scent. Durf is a naval diplomacy guy.
Yes, sir.
I've been using their, I forgot what the name of the product is, but it's like for my hair. I know I have long hair and it's in a bun right now, but it helps me. I push it back and I get a nice flow going to it.
You mean like...
I think you took some. Did you take some?
it's not soap, right? You're talking
It's not
about
soap.
like
It's like a
for styling?
gel. It's like a gel.
Oh, I didn't
It's
have
like,
any of
it's
that.
like a cream, whatever. I love it.
I have used it before, though. It's good.
Yes. Get yours at Target or DukeCannon.com. If you go the digital route, pull tab 10 is your promo code to get 10% off DukeCannon.com. All right. We are landing the plane of this episode with Random Wolf of the Week. Wow. Okay, here's the deal. I totally made the clues by myself. No help from any
Yeah, you didn't do
service.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, no
Totally
way.
normal thing to say before
Did it?
you...
I totally
That's what you would always
didn't
say
do
if you
it.
had done that too.
Yes,
so it makes
I
sense.
always stipulate. So it's time for your guys' magical bonus guess that you can do before the game officially starts.
Do you have any thoughts? Because I have one.
If you have one, fire away.
Is it Mike Conley?
No, I love Mike Conley though. He's my favorite
I was
player.
going to say
in
Will
Timberwolves history.
Conroy, so we're on the same. Is it Tim Connolly?
Does it have Con in it?
Wait, if we specified, can it be in the front office, or does it have to
They
be...
have to be players that played at least one game.
It's time for random administrative member of the week.
He's like,
Sachin Gupta.
It's Chad Jacobson. He's one of the data analysts in the front office. Really
Chad
great
Jacobson's a guy that works for Star Tribune.
Chad GPT.
Bree
really great.
Bauer.
Did you just throw Chad Jacobson?
Yeah, I totally made that
No
up.
way. He's a guy. He's a guy that works for Star Tribune. Friend of mine. We'd buy ads for
Tag him.
When I
Tag
worked,
him in
I
the
love
pod
Chad.
episode.
I miss Chad. He's a Star Wars and Wolves guy,
I
so we
almost
got
said
along very
Chad
well.
Hutchinson, but isn't that a
Dude,
NFL quarterback?
Chad Jacobson on the pod to talk Star
Chad-
Wars and
Why
Timberwolves.
are you asking me? You're the football guy.
No one cares about Chad
Chad
Jacobson.
Pennington is who I was thinking of, not Hutchinson.
And then there was a baseball player named Cliff Pennington.
Oh, Cliff Lee. Nice.
Cliff Lee. Carlos Lee.
Carlos was the random wolf of the
Carlos
week. sorry.
Gomez.
Nathan Lee O'Connick.
Ah, yes.
We can't talk about
Carlos Boozer.
All right, let's get on with the game.
really boost that one
Clue
up.
number one. This
Number
player
one.
was a member of the NBA's all-rookie first team in 1994 and has won 3 NBA championships throughout his career. You guys are going to get into. I guarantee it.
The NBA All-Rookie team in 1994
And has won 3.
and won 3 championships.
Let me double check this.
How many did KG win? He wasn't that early. I
Yeah,
don't
it's not
think.
KG, and he only won 1 championship.
So it's probably not somebody super polarizing. No, wait, you said, so he's on the rookie team, but if he won 3, I imagine it's probably not a super obvious one. Right?
Is it Antoine Walker?
It's not Antoine Walker. That's a great guess, though. Was that your official guess? Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes,
Clue number 2. Prior to his NBA career, this player played college basketball at Florida State University and was selected to the All-ACC first team in 93. He was also inducted into the Florida State Hall of Fame in 97 and the National Collegiate Basketball Hall of Fame in 2021. This is when you get it.
That
Brandon's getting it. I believe in him. so
I don't
much.
know any Florida basketball players from the
Yeah.
90s because I didn't watch a lot of basketball.
All-Rookie team in 1994, but he didn't necessarily have to play with the Wolves at that point.
Also, it doesn't. Yeah, he didn't necessarily have to be on the team when he was on the all rookie team. So,
This guy probably played from like into like the early 2000s.
why did it take till 2021 to induct him into the?
Maybe he was in jail.
Okay, guys who are in jail.
Maybe he was canceled.
I'm thinking like maybe
this is your wheelhouse.
Sam Cassell.
You're right.
Oh,
I told you you'd get it after 2. I told you you'd get it after 2.
3 championships. He won one in Boston. That's the only one I know.
And then the team.
He won with the Rockets.
Yep. 94 and 95. It was his rookie year.
Oh, okay.
My other clues were 15.7 points a game, 6 assists per game, 3.2 rebounds, and 45% from the field, 38% from beyond the arc. And among point guards with at least 10,000 career points, this player ranks 7th all time in points per game, only behind Magic Johnson, Steph Curry, and Oscar Robertson. That might be old.
Greatest Wolves point guard of all time.
You think so?
You
We
mean
have to have that debate.
That's Mike Conley's bag.
That's Mike Conley now.
Get that out of here.
Someday.
Yeah.
And then the 5th clue ChatGPT came up with was this player was known for his unique on-court demeanor, often making a big balls gesture after hitting clutch shots. Thank you, ChatGPT. Okay, we are at the end of the show. What else should we talk about? Anything else?
The season of Succession's been pretty good.
Wait, hang on. Let's talk about. So it's Nuggets in 5, right? That's what the consensus is.
That's my thought.
That's mine as
My
well.
ceiling is 6, but yeah, it's gonna be 5.
If it goes to 6, successful.
If it goes
series.
to 6, we're gonna
My
win the whole
ceiling
thing.
is Wolves in 5.
Ooh.
I want to.
They won their one game. Now we get to turn on the Jets.
I really want to fear is the mind killer my way out of this to where I was last year, but it's just like it's been such a roller coaster. I'm so tired.
It's so hard for me to definitively be like, oh yeah, we're dead because we've had so many moments
We have
this year.
6 playable players though.
Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm just at peace and just ready to wipe the slate clean.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mostly mean like if you look at the genetics of our team, in that we are a Minnesota basketball team, and if there's one thing we know about Minnesota sports is that when you want to stop caring, they're like, here's a little bit of hope injected into your veins. So now you know,
Hope in my veins.
that's what.
All right.
So they're gonna. I'm just saying. They got one more oomph in them.
They got one more fun.
one more thrust.
Yeah,
in
do
them.
something cool. Do one more thrust. Ooh. If you like the podcast or if you absolutely hate it, make sure you leave a review. 5 or 1 stars. No 2s, no 3s, no 4s. Okay. Say something and stand on it. Also, make sure you follow us on social media, mostly on Twitter, frankly, at No Pants Crunch, but also on Instagram and TikTok at No Pants Crunch. I promise those videos are coming, guys. I will chop them up.
Someday.
I'm a goose. What else is there to plug? Oh yeah, pulltabsports.com. Make it your homepage. We love you so much. Bye.
Bye.